Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you a build I have been following on the Path of Exile forum. It is a witch build with the Elementalists, and so far it's been pretty fun. It uses the skill Righteous Fire. I can just show you real quick. Just go to this map here. It uses the skill Righteous Fire, and so far it's been pretty fun. It's not that hard to play. You just have to get the right setup, and you should be good to go. So Righteous Fire, what happens is when you do Righteous Fire, you have a ring of fire here, and anything that walks into it, it just burns. It just burns, and the thing you should know is that it does burn the enemies. It also burns you as well, so you have to make sure that you also can sustain the burning. So to sustain this, you need to have, of course, max out your fire resistance as much as possible, and you also need a really high regeneration, life regeneration, and that way you can sustain it, because it does damage based on your health. So the more health you have, the more damage you'll do. As you can see, I'm just walking into the enemy, and they just burn. Like, I don't have to do much. I just walk and then they just burn. That's fairly simple. It's fairly simple. Just look at these items. So, yeah, it's fairly simple. I enjoy it so far. It's a fairly easy build. And what I can say is I used to play builds where I mostly do Cyclone. I love doing Cyclone, so I even have Cyclone as my main, as a secondary attack. But you don't necessarily need to use it. I only use it occasionally when I'm fighting a boss or something, because what happens is when I fight a boss, I want to be able to get. I'm not saying, like, Cyclone doesn't really do a lot of damage, because when you look at the Cyclone, it's only doing like 1200 damage, which is far less than what Righteous Fire is doing. As you can see, Righteous Fire is just burning through the enemies. Like, I may do Cyclone, I may be doing my Cyclone, but it's nothing compared to Righteous Fire. But I use Cyclone because because I like the fact that when I'm attacking, I'm also moving in motion. That's something I really enjoy, and so I do Cyclone because I have this gem that does life gain on hit. So every time I hit an enemy, I gain life, and that's the whole point. I want to be able to sustain a lot of health, a lot of regeneration, and that way I don't ever lose health. I'm always at full health. For the most part, I'm always at full health, and that way I can continue burning other people, burning the other enemies. And as you can see, I don't have much difficulties killing them. I just run in and then they just burn. As you can see, their health is just depleting. So this is really fun. So getting back to playing Cyclone, I used to play a lot of Cyclone builds where it's mainly my main skill. I just Cyclone through an enemy and they die. And I noticed something odd about doing that. When I Cyclone through these enemies, a lot of times I Cyclone through them and they do die quickly, but there's actually a high chance of dying. I was playing a Cyclone Slayer, one of those physical Cyclone Slayers, and I tend to die if I'm not careful. This build, you don't have to do much. It's like, all you do is just walk around, and then when you're a boss, you just Cyclone around, and you die. was just an example. I mean, that was an easy boss, but if I were to show you like a harder boss, let me go back to town. I'll show you a harder boss in one of these maps. I'll select the harder boss. Maybe I can do race recourse or something. Hopefully I don't die. I'm hoping I don't die when I do this. Let me just set this real quick. I'm hoping I don't die. Because I never did race recourse. Okay, yeah, sure, race recourse. I don't know. I never really did this map yet. I did a fair amount of maps, but so far I didn't have too much of an issue. So they're just burning right now. Some of them are just burning to death. I'm just gonna go through this. Most times they're just burning. How much? Burning. Slowly burning. Not too hard there. Just gonna burn them. See, just walking here and they're just burning. See, I don't have to do anything. I'm just walking up to them and they're just burning. That's the thing is, I don't have full gems yet. My gems are not fully upgraded. So once those are upgraded, my damage will definitely increase. So I'm just cycling through this, just helping out a little bit. It's not much, it's just every little helps. Every little bit helps. I'm just trying to get through this. So it's fairly simple. Just trying to get through here. So I'm going through this map, just killing everything. Not too hard. There we go. Just trying to kill these. Yeah, I have a tendency to want to kill everything in the map. I try not to skip anything in the map except the trials. Those trials I need to just. Okay, so here's the boss. Come here, I don't know. I'm gonna do this boss. Raid. Freeze. Oh wow, he's doing a little more damage than I thought. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna get rid of these first. We actually need. Okay, here we go. Good. There. So not too shabby. It's actually pretty simple. It wasn't as difficult. So there's a lot of there's some defense. They have this where it kind of protects you. It's kind of a little protection where any damage is taken from here before. So if I get attacked, it deducts from here first before anything else. And I'm just gonna go through and finish this map. But overall, this is a pretty fun build. I did try to build some other ones on my channel. You saw like what was it? It was like that Cyclone, Frostbolt. It was Cyclone, Frostbolt, and Ice Nova. Because I tried that many times. You need specific gear in order to have it work. You need to have specific items that work, whereas this build, you don't necessarily need anything particular. You can use anything you want. That's what the person on the forum, on Path of Exile forum, Righteous Fire, which build Righteous Fire Elementalist, specifically state you can use any weapon, it doesn't matter. You can use anything, it doesn't matter. You can use anything, it'll work. That was the person's advertisement. And it's like, well, I can use anything I want. And it's worked out pretty well. I don't have any issues with it so far. I did die a few times. I think it was towards the beginning when I was like getting this up and running. I died a few times because I wasn't able to sustain my health. But other than that, it's a pretty simple build. I managed to get through these. Oops, I was trying to place that. So, but I can go over kind of like some of my gear. So I use this because it gives me more area effect, more area damage. It also gives me health. I use a lot of things that just provide health in general. I use this one because it gives me life gain on attack. So paired with this life gain on hit. So paired with that, this is not a level 20 yet, but I'm gonna get 54 plus with this 44. That's basically around 100 life gain on hit. It also gives me health. And then I use this one. You don't have to use this exact same gear. Like I said, it's totally up to you. You can use whatever you want. This also gives you health, and it gives elemental resistance, which is something I really like. This gives me health. This gives me health. Like, the main goal is to get as much health, get as much fire damage as possible. This also gives me health. What else did it do? Yeah, it mainly gave me health. It also gives me the ability to block. This thing also gives me health and resistance. This gives me health. It's just anything that gives you health and resistance and fire damage. I don't really have anything that provides fire damage at the moment. If I did, it would probably help out. So, if you look at it, we have here, my life regeneration is around 1100. I'm still not maxed out yet. I'm only level 84, as you can see. And here are my defenses. So 31% damage, physical damage reduction, but you look at here, you have you have some shield, you have my ability to block, being able to ignore like shock, freeze, to ignore those. Like you won't have to worry about them. And even if you get bleed damage, it's not that much because you sustain regeneration so much that it doesn't even do that much. So that's something you should kind of consider. Like, oh, they attack me with bleed damage. It doesn't affect me all too much because I regenerate so much. So the main skill is definitely Righteous Fire. Okay, you burn 90% of your maximum life as fire damage. And that also includes your base damage of 1200. So the maximum life is 5000, so you do 90% of 5000, that's quite a bit of damage. And this is burning per second. So imagine getting 5000 damage per second. And you're only getting out and you have to multiply by all the spell damage that it grants, and then you also have to multiply by this gem, which also grants you more damage over time, more spell damage. It's not even maxed out yet. And then you also have this gem, Elemental Focus. It does more elemental damage. So elemental fire is elemental, so it does more elemental damage. And then this thing just does more damage in general. Because Righteous Fire is an area damage, it does area damage, area of effect. So this one, it increases your area damage. And then you also include Inspiration. This thing gives you more damage per Inspiration. And that's what you want. You want more damage. And then burning, you want your enemies to burn. You do like damage. You want them to burn even more. So 50% more burning times all these multipliers, it just adds up. And then you have other ones like, where is it? Casualty damage. So this one, when enemies are ignited, they have less fire resistance. So with less fire resistance, they sustain more damage. And then I think flammability. Again, when you curse them, they get more. They you decrease their fire resistance, which causes them to do more damage. Even if an enemy has fire resistance, like say an enemy has 75% fire resistance, so you're technically doing, say you're doing 1,000 damage and the person has 75%, so you're basically doing 250. But if you have this one, you subtract like 30 here, subtract 20, that's like 50. So now instead of only doing 250 damage based on a $1,000 damage input, you're doing 75 damage. So that's a big game changer, right? And then what other gems do I have? I think it's probably Ed, Falling, there was another one. Period of Flame. So Period of Flame is another one. It also does damage in a way. So 50% of the physical damage that it does on this gem is converted to fire. So it's additional fire damage. And it also creates burning fire. It also creates a flame burning kind of thing on the ground. And that adds to more damage. So overall, I think this is a really nice build. Just look for it on Path of Exile. It's under the Witch build, Elementalist, and just look for the one that does Righteous Fire. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this informative video on Righteous Fire build. Ever since I played this, I basically stopped playing Slayer Cyclones, Duelist Cyclones, anything that's physical cyclone. I basically stuck with this build. And so far it's worked out well, and I'm gonna continue playing. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time, and I'll definitely post more videos on my progression with this build. Thank you, and have a good day.